1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay guys, let's have a look at The Muppet Show Theme by Jim Henson and Sam Pottle, arranged by David Blackwell. Now this is quite a fun little piece, a nostalgic piece to play, and it's really just in two different sections. So let's discuss each section separately. So let's start with the first section, which we'll find, the A section, which we will find in the first two lines of this piece, and also on the second page, on the last two lines of this piece, okay? Now, the style, even though you don't have a lot of, you have staccatos written in the left hand, but you don't have staccatos written in the right hand, I think it sounds better if you just play, in general, fairly short, okay? So it should sound, so those tied notes are not short. The C sharp A, right? So it's basically the first three quarter notes of every phrase. Yeah, it's the first three quarter notes of every phrase that we should probably play staccato, because that's how I remember hearing it as a child. Now the left hand, of course, is pretty much all staccato. When you get on the second line, you don't have to play too. You don't have to play too short there. You can just play. Of course, the very last note should be long. And if you want to put a little tiny crescendo in that first ending, it might make it sound good. Okay? Now, the one thing to watch out for in these two first lines, of course, practice it hands apart. And having a look at it, right? You know, the right hand is really just in two different positions. You have this, you're in position A, and then you're in position D on the second line. And the left hand, you start in this position D, and then you go to position, kind of like fourth finger on A, right? But it's actually this position where you're playing a C sharp with your second finger, unless it's written otherwise, right? But your fifth finger will be on G. So it's kind of like this G position with a C sharp. Okay, now, so in terms of position changes for a grade 3 piece, this is not very difficult. What you might find difficult is the thing I was about to talk about earlier, is you have to watch out for the syncopation in the right hand in measure 2, because that might be a little bit, you might find that hard to put together. So when you're putting hands together after you have practiced hands apart, right, go extremely slowly, so that you get the order of the hands correctly. So like, I'm gonna just take from measure 2 here, and it goes, you see that? It's together, then right, left, left. Okay? All right, that's hard to put in context. Easier the second time because you're not really doing anything with your left hand at the same time. All right. Besides that, it's quite easy to put together. Now let's have a look at when the A theme comes right back in measure 17. This is on the page, second page of your music here. Now we're going to return back to the exact same positions that we were, and it is basically in exact same positions as the first two lines. You just have to watch out for the left hand here, because like instead of playing just an F natural, you have to play this F natural A flat in measure 17. So you're going You're going to do that with your fourth and your second finger, and then you'll play the E-G, the next phrase, with your third and fifth finger. All right? But then watch out, because the A is with your first finger. And then you're going to go 1, 2, and you're going to play the F sharp A with the 3 and 1. And then you have the same F A flat chord that we had in measure 17. And we'll play that with our 2 and 4. So when you're playing this thing with your left hand, right, keep your second and fourth finger on the F and the A flat. There it is. And I'm going to just keep it there. There's back. You see that? So we have to make sure when that comes back and measure 19, we're doing 2, 4, 3, 5, just like we did in measure 17 and 18. Okay? And of course, after that, it's all very straightforward. Okay? And the same issue that we had in measure 2, we have in measure 18, but with a new left hand. Okay? So you have that syncopated figure, but with the left hand playing on the beats. So really try to make sure you have the right hand lined up, or in this way, in this case, really not lined up with the left hand. You don't want them to be playing anywhere close together. Okay? All right. That is the A section. Okay, let's look at the B section, which starts in measure 8. It ends in measure 16. Okay? Now this section is in direct contrast with the A section in that it's mostly just legato. All right, and slurred. And the left hand takes the melody first, and it passes to the right hand in measure 12. Okay? So really try to bring these out and have that be louder than the chords in your right hand. And it's reflected in the dynamic markings that you see on the page, okay? But the right hand can take over the melody in measure 12. All right? All right? But just a quick word about fingering here. This is very important, all right? So you see a fingering marking in measure 12, 2, 1, 3, and there's no more fingering markings after that. Now, try to resist playing 1, 5, and 13, because you're going to need your fifth finger for the F sharp. So it's 1, 4 in measure 13. And then keep your fourth finger on the E and your 1 on that G. And then you move your 1 to A. Okay? And the other thing to pay attention to is your first finger, when you first play this in measure 12, going up, your thumb is going to be on A and you have to move it down. So when you play the 1, 4, move your thumb down. And then move it back up for the 1, 5. Okay? So that's the only real thing to really worry about in the right hand. Left hand is pretty straightforward. All right? So it's 2, 4, and we're talking here now, measure 13 again. 2, 4. All right? 1, 5, and then 2, 4 again. All right, and here's where the one thing you have to watch out for in the left hand is, you see that 1, 5, you're just going to cross your thumb underneath and play 1, 5 here. And then it's the same exact chord and play 1, 4, so that you have your 2 and your 5 freed up for the last chord. All right, so I'm going to play it in time now for measure 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 4, 2, 1, 5, 4, 2. 4, 2, crossing my thumb, 1, 5, 1, 4, 2, 5, like that. All right, so when you play it hands together, just go very slow and make sure you're trying to do these fingerings, that you do your fourth finger on the right hand, moving your thumb on the right hand, and then we're going to cross our thumb and to replace the fingering. Okay, that's how you do it hands together, okay, on the B section. Besides that, when you're practicing this, I would encourage you play very, very slowly the first couple times when you put it hands together, okay? Just to make sure you're getting all your fingering changes and all the articulations all the legato, everything you need to think about together. And when I mean very slowly, I mean very, very slowly. Like, I'll go back to the beginning here. This is like the beginning. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This slowly. Alright, now you may have to go slower than that, alright? But definitely not faster than that when you first start putting it together, alright? Try not to play it like you've heard it on the television at the very beginning, like. Alright, that would be tempting to do, but trust me, you're going to learn all sorts of strange mistakes right off the bat if you try to go too fast too soon. All right, so practice hands apart, and when you feel good with that, extremely slowly, and getting your articulations and your fingerings and all that coordination stuff together. And you want to do that for a while until it starts feeling really easy at a slow speed, and then you can start speeding it up, and then it will just happen kind of organically, and you will be having a great time with this piece. Okay, so good luck with learning the Muppet Show theme, and we'll see you in the next video. That's it for this video. If you found this video helpful, please consider clicking on that like button and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.